What's going on, Slay Baes? It's Ashley and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I thought it would be really fun to sit down and film an entire makeup look, like full beat, full on glam, using $50 worth of makeup products. I know, kind of crazy to think about, because if you know anything about makeup, you know whether it's high-end or drugstore, it gets pretty expensive. I was in Walmart recently and I came across a brand called InStudio. They had so many different products ranging from eyeshadow, bronzer, blush, highlight, face primer, literally the whole shebang. So I decided to pick up a bunch of different products. The only thing that they didn't have was like complexion products, so foundation, concealer, and also powder. But I did substitute some really awesome and affordable complexion products to get this look to be under $50. Like, no lie, I have so many products here that I'm really excited to dive into. So if you guys are not yet subscribed to my channel, make sure you guys press that subscribe button. And while you're at it, click that little bell, because that bell is gonna notify you anytime I upload, which is every Monday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So do that. It would be greatly appreciated. And with that, I'm gonna zoom you in just so that way we can get started on the look, because I've been doing a lot of this and we need to do a little bit more of this. Okay. So I'm gonna start things off with eyeshadow, but before I do that, I do wanna prime my eyelids with some concealer. I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Camo Concealer, the same concealer I'm gonna use on my face to prime my eyelids. Reason being is that this is extremely full coverage. It's gonna mute out my eyelids like no other, and it's really just going to create a nice sticky base for these shadows to stick to. Whoa, drop my brush. I'm gonna take a fluffier brush and just blend this all the way out until it's nice and even. Eyes are primed, let's actually move on to eyeshadow. Now I have several different eyeshadows because they didn't have like an eyeshadow palette in the line, but all of these single shadows do retail for 97 cents, which is unreal. I'm gonna first start off with this bone colored shadow here. This one is called Toasted Marshmallow, and I'm going to rock that back and forth in my crease. This is just gonna act as a really nice base color before I actually go in with like transitional shades. And since I did prime my eyelids with concealer, I don't really want things to get blotchy or spotty at all. So this shadow is really just gonna help prevent that from happening. And I'm just taking it in my crease with a fluffy M441, and I'm also taking it right underneath my brow bone as well to act as a really nice brow bone highlight. The next shade I'm going to take is called Spice. It's a really pretty soft brown shade, and I'm going to take it on an M441. And I'm just gonna rock this in my crease. This here is going to be the start of my transition color, and wow. Wow, do you see that pigmentation? Like, girl, 97 cents. 97 cents. That is crazy. My mind is blown right now. Literally blown.
The prophecy is true.
So my first initial thoughts on this eyeshadow is that a little bit goes a very long way. And when I first go in with shadow, it's not like full on wham bam pigmented, but it's definitely buildable. So the more I go in with shadow, the more intense things become, which is really good. It forces me to believe that this will be really awesome for beginners. Like, it's very user friendly in a sense that you're not gonna get too much pigmentation all at once, but you can definitely build it up to your desired intensity. The next shade I'm gonna take is this one right here. It's a really pretty like plum shade. It's called Rebel, and I am gonna take that on an M507. I'm gonna start really packing this like in the outer V of my crease to really just intensify this outer V area. So the technique I'm using is I'm really just tapping it, building up the color, and then when I have the color placed exactly where I want it, I'm just gonna kind of take my brush and diffuse out the color. Like that. And I will say this one definitely lacks a little bit of pigment, but I'm not too concerned because I feel like the more and more I layer, the more intense it becomes. I don't know what I'm going for this look, to be completely honest, be completely real, but I do know I want it to be very dramatic and very just like full on glam, because I want to show you that it doesn't really matter how much things cost, you can still look and feel good on a budget. I did just switch over to an M514 and I'm just softly diffusing out the lines. Whew, so this look is definitely getting really smoky really quick, but it's okay. I don't mind it. I'm not opposed to it. Again, we're doing a full glam look. I'm gonna go in with this shade right here called Roar. It is a orange, so kind of like a sienna, but not as deep as a sienna. Definitely pulls a lot more orange. So I'm gonna take it on that M507. As you can see, I do get a little bit of kickback in the pan, but nothing too crazy. The pigment is totally there on that brush, but I'm gonna take this orange and I'm gonna put it right next to that purple, just to kind of create more of a gradient. I'm very, very shocked with the performance of these shadows, like very shocked. It's so pretty. So I'm gonna take this orange right here in like the very like inner 1/3 of my crease on that M507 just to kind of define it out and carve it out. At first I thought I really just wanted to keep it like right here in the center, but I'm like, why not? Why not bring it all the way in? Definitely want to do a cut crease with this look, just because I feel like it'll make it like that much more dramatic, you get me? And why not bring on the drama? With an M433, I'm just gonna kind of buff and blend out that orange, just so that way it's a little softer and a lot more diffused. So for this look, I'm definitely gonna cut my crease. So I'm gonna go back to using the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. We're not gonna add it to the total since I already added it when I use it as a primer for my lid. So I'm gonna take a little bit on the back of my hand on a flat brush. This is just a Morphe M124. And I'm gonna go to town and I'm going to carve out just a little bit of lid space, so that way I can go in with my lid color. So for my lid color, I'm actually going to use one of their highlighters. This is the InStudio highlighter in the shade Champagne Glow. I did swatch it earlier and it is so insanely blinding, like unreal, very, very creamy, very buttery, everything and more. So I'm going to use that same M124 and I'm going to just simply pat this all over the concealer. And I'm going to do it dry just because I really want to see how this is going to show up, and whoo, that is pretty. Honestly, it feels very, very creamy to touch. It also doesn't look too chunky whatsoever on the eyelids, which is great. So I will definitely say that the highlight does come off a little bit powdery, so I am going to apply it wet. You can use eye drops, you can use whatever it is that you want or have at home, water, but I do want to apply it just like a little bit wet, just so that way I can get it as close to this edge as possible. And the only way for me to do that is with a little bit of setting spray. I'm gonna go right back into the shade called Rebel. I'm gonna pick up some of that shade on an M507 and I'm just gonna blend it into that shimmer, because right now there's a really harsh and stark transition between the shimmer and the matte, and I definitely don't want that to be the case. So I'm just kind of patting this shade and buffing it into that shimmer. Since these shadows have a crazy amount of fallout, I am going to go in with the InStudio Eye Remover Wipes to clean up the fallout, and I really love the concept. I wonder if they knew that their shadows had a crazy amount of fallout, which is why they decided to come out with these, because they are just like little cotton rounds saturated with makeup remover, so it works. I mean, it's handy. Ooh, and it gets it off. Hello, love that for us. That was a very easy. Should I do a sharp edge? I am. Why not? Let's do it. So final verdict on these little makeup remover wipes. Honestly, it got everything off of my face, which is so crazy. It's very well saturated with makeup remover and it did not burn my eyes whatsoever. Definitely keeping these right next to me so that way I don't have to dip a cotton swab inside a makeup remover. It's just so much of a process. This is just like wham bam done. Get it, wipe it off, and you're good. So let's actually move on. They do have eyeliner in their line. Here's the thing about eyeliner. For me personally, I know if an eyeliner is going to perform very well if it doesn't seep into the crevices of my hand. So this here is the liquid dip eyeliner that they have from the brand. Very, very affordable. I picked mine up in the shade black. And again, the only way I'm going to put this on is if it does not seep into the crevices of my hand. Ooh, this is like a brush tip applicator. It reminds me of like the NYC liquid eyeliner. Okay, so I did one stroke on the back of my hand. And honestly, you guys, it's not seeping into the fine lines of my hand. Like a little bit, but not a lot whatsoever, just like the tiniest bit. I also love that this is a brush tip applicator. It looks like it's going to be extremely black by that swipe right there. Whoo, we're gonna go in. I'm nervous. I feel like eyeliner can make or break your look, so you have to be careful.
You really, really do. Okay.
So this is my first go around with the liner. It is looking a little shiny. I hate shiny eyeliner. I really, really do. Luckily, I did pick up an all black eyeshadow from the brand. This one is called Carbon. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this on a smaller brush and I'm just going to dab it directly over top of the eyeliner, just so that way it is super dark and super matte, because we do not like shiny at all when it comes to eyeliner. I don't know about you, but I know about me. And I hate it. So just gonna dab the black eyeshadow directly over top. But I will say the eyeliner is really, really black, and that's one thing I really like about it. We're now gonna go in with falsies. These are by Believe Beauty. They retail for about $4.50. And the lash style I'm gonna use today is called Glamorous. This is a really pretty, kind of like natural fluttery lash. I really, really love this style here. So I'm gonna pop it on. It also comes with a lash glue on the back, wham bam, one and done. So I'm gonna pop these on really, really quick, and then we'll work on the rest of the face. So now that I have my lashes on, I'm gonna go in with just a little bit of the InStudio mascara in black. As you can see, the wand is super, super tiny. This is really just going to coat my lashes in with the falsies. It's gonna just make for a better blend. And I only like to take the mascara at the base of my lash and not through the tips of the falsies, because if you start to take this mascara all the way through the falsies, it can tend to make them look very, very fake. So I try not to do that. All right, so let's actually move on to face primer. They do actually have a face primer in the line, which is very surprising. It is a mattifying primer. I also want to say they have a luminous primer. By the way, Stormy totally got a hold of this and she chewed up the bottom. Thank you so much, Stormy. Thank you so much. I'm going to take a little bit of this and I'm just going to put it all over. Wow. The formula isn't as thick as I thought it was going to be. Normally, I think of very, very thick primers being mattifying, but this actually feels very, very thin and very hydrating on my skin. Wow. This feels really good. Wow, we see you InStudio. I'm gonna take a little bit more of that face primer and I'm just gonna stick it in the center of my forehead, because all the areas that I want to stay matte throughout the day are like down my T-zone, chin, cupid's bow, nose, and forehead. So I'm really gonna concentrate the majority of this right here in the center. Right on my forehead. Now, I was a little sad that they do not have a color corrector in the line, but it's okay, I will survive. Let's actually move on to foundation. Since InStudio didn't have many complexion products in the line, I am going to opt for my Believe Beauty Skin Finish foundations. I have 2 here, which brings the price to $10 total. I have the shade Ivory and also Warm Vanilla. I love mixing the 2 together to get my perfect shade, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Also, this comes with a pump, very, very luxe. Love this foundation. I did just mention it in my favorite products of 2019 video, Drugstore edition. So if you haven't seen that, I highly encourage you guys to watch it and check it out, because I do have some more really, really awesome affordable recommendations in that video. I'm gonna take this brush right here by Real Techniques, and I'm gonna start by just painting the foundation on in little stripes. Just like that. And then I'm going to take a damp beauty sponge. I'm using this one right here by e.l.f. Cosmetics. It retails for about $5 and it is so good. It's so soft. It doesn't soak up too much of the foundation, and it really just gets the job done for more of an affordable price. You guys see what I'm saying about this foundation? It is beautiful on the skin. I also can't get enough of the eyeshadow. Like, it looks so good, and to think that these shadows only cost $1 really just blows my mind. Now that was just a very, very thin layer of the foundation. I'm gonna go in with a second layer and build it up to my desired coverage. Right now it's looking very, very sheer, but you guys know I'm kind of like full coverage or nothing at all. So I'm going to just apply a second layer, go to town, and get the coverage that I need, because I know you guys are looking at my face like, girl, that's barely any coverage, but I got you. Second layer, coming in strong. We got this. Now that I built that up to full coverage, I'm gonna go in with concealer. This is the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer in the shade Light Beige. I'm not gonna add this to the overall total, because so far I used it to prime my eyelids, I used it to cut my crease, and I'm also using it as my under eye concealer to add to add light to the center of my face. Lightness, I don't know where I was going with that, but I'm gonna brighten a little bit, and I'm gonna use that same e.l.f. sponge to buff and blend. Then I'm going to go in with a little bit of loose powder. I'm going to use the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in light medium. Now, I did look on Walmart.com, and it says that this powder does retail for about $4 give or take, so that's what I'm going to calculate it as. It does look pretty dark in the pan, but it's completely okay. I'm actually going to use this to set my entire face down and in place, just because I really want to stay under the budget. So I'm going to press this, not just underneath my eyes, but all over my face. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in with those single shadows, and I'm actually going to smoke out my lower lash line. So I'm going to take the shade here called Roar, that really pretty orange, on a flat definer brush, and I'm going to go to town and just really start smoking this out. Then with a fluffier brush with absolutely no product on it, I'm just going to diffuse out those edges. Then I'm going to go in with just a little bit of the shade called Rebel on that same flat definer brush, and I'm just going to pinch it. Almost dropped the shadow. Pretty sure it would have shattered, but like I was saying, I'm pretty much just going to pinch it right here in the very outer edge, just to kind of bring that purple down here into the look, because it's looking very orange. We need to just even things out. Let's move on to bronzer. I'm going to be using this bronzer right here in the shade Ibiza, and I'm going to add a little bit of warmth to my face. The brush I'm using, by the way, is a MAC 135, but you can also use a Morphe M527. I'm just going to kind of hit my temples with this. Ooh, this is like really warm, but still really pretty. It's actually blending really nicely onto my skin. So after bronzer, I'm gonna go in with blush. This blush is so pretty. It's called Dusk, and I think it's gonna look insanely beautiful with the rest of the look. You guys already know I'm gonna use my favorite brush to apply it. This is the Buildable Cheek Brush by Smashbox. Gonna tap off and just brush it on. Wow, that is very pigmented. Holy moly. So a little bit of this goes a very, very long way. Just know that. Don't go in with a lot. Literally just tap your brush once and then blend. This look is actually really, really pretty considering it only cost me $50 in total. What? Like, there's eyeshadow palettes that cost damn near $50, let alone me doing my entire face for only $50. Watch out, world. Watch out. I'm gonna go in with a highlighter now. This is another InStudio highlighter. It's in the shade Champagne Glow. And I'm just gonna take that same blush brush, the Buildable Cheek one, and I'm just going to put it on the apples of my cheeks. This is definitely one of those highlighters that sits on top of the skin and doesn't necessarily like melt. Not my favorite, but it is going to get the job done. It's gonna add a nice glow to the cheeks. You know what? I'm gonna take a little bit more of a concentrated highlighting brush because I wanna see what it'll look like if I just went like straight in with it. Yeah, no, no honey. But, I mean, it's not terrible. I feel like for the price point, it's understandable and it's justifiable, but again, not my cup of tea. Moving on, I'm gonna go in with a matte lip cream. This here is in the shade Vintage Petal. Not entirely sure if this is gonna go with the eyes and may clash, but if it does, you know what? We have to roll with it because it's the only lip color I have for this video. So let's go ahead and apply it and see what the formula is like. Okay, so clearly this lip does not match the eyes whatsoever, but like I said, it's the only lip color I have. This is definitely more of like a cool tone mauve where the eyes are very, very warm. Ugh, I wish I would have thought about that like when I picked this color up, but nonetheless, it still is really, really pretty, you guys. Like super, super pretty. I had to fix that part because it was bothering me. It is really pretty. It feels a little tacky on the lips, but honestly, I feel like once it fully dries down, I won't be able to feel it at all whatsoever. Like, if the lips were a different color, I wouldn't even be able to tell that this look was created using products $50 and under. Where'd I do that at? Only here on this channel. Mega by Marie. Tell your friends, your mama, your papa, your sister, your uncle, your auntie, your cousins, your grandma, your grandpa, and I don't know who else. All right, Slay Bae, so this right here is the final and completed look. What do you think? Let me know down below in the comments. I did try to dress this look up a little bit. I did my hair, put some earrings on, and I am kind of feeling the vibe, but you guys are gonna have to let me know what you think of it down below in the comments. I do quickly wanna go over some products that I liked and products that I didn't like. Let's actually start off with products I really didn't care for in today's video. That would definitely have to be the highlighter as a highlighter. I feel like this highlighter really sits on top of the skin. It looks a little bit gritty and chunky. It doesn't melt beautifully into the skin. You guys know I'm all about a highlighter that really just melts into my skin. It looks very skin-like. This doesn't do it for me. However, it is really, really beautiful on my lids. I love it as a lid color. Another product I hated was the liquid eyeliner. Well, you don't have to worry about me using the highlighter because I just dropped it and it shattered everywhere. That's what I get for talking shit. As I was saying, another product I really didn't like in today's video was the liquid eyeliner. I feel like it was very hard to work with. While it was a brush tip applicator, it was very, very thin, so I was able to create a very thin wing. This is not thin, it's very much thick, and that's simply because the more and more product I put on, I realized that it was building up and it was starting to crumble on my eyes, so it definitely wasn't a favorite. It's also shiny, so I had to set it over top with a matte eyeshadow, so that's definitely like a deal breaker for me. Some products I really liked was the bronzer and blush. This color is beautiful on the cheeks. I feel like it really goes with the eyes very well. I also really like the formula of the matte lip cream. However, I don't like the color with the eyes, but the formula is absolutely beautiful. So I will have all these products listed down below in the description in case you guys are interested in checking them out. And with that, I don't think I have much else to say, except I love you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces. Now, I can put on my new lip, my warm lip, because this is not a look. KKW, nude lipstick too. Absolute game changer. Oh, that's better.